If you recall, when KTM joined India with the introduction of the Duke, they were offering one of the most powerful motorcycles at a great price point. But over time, with a lot of electronics and a lot of new features coming into play, the motorcycles have become expensive. Now the KTM 390 Adventure is one of their most popular models considering the demand for adventure motorcycles these days. And what they have done is now you get 4 variants of the KTM 390 Adventure. What we have here is the KTM 390 Adventure X, and I'm going to take you through all the changes. Let's get down to it. Mechanically, the entire motorcycle is the same, but there is one component which is the front fork. So out here we get the big piston forks from the 250 Adventure compared to the open cartridge forks that we see on the 390 Adventure standard variant. Now KTM have managed to make the X variant the cheapest variant by borrowing some parts from the KTM 250 Adventure. For starters, this gets the LCD console compared to the TFT from the 390, and you get the MRF Mogrip Meteor tires from the KTM Adventure 250 as well. Apart from that, the LCD screen, all you can do from here is that you can change the ABS riding modes which are between road and off-road, but you do not get cornering ABS, traction control and Bluetooth connectivity. Priced at around rupees 2,80,000 ex showroom, this variant is almost 58,000 rupees cheaper than the standard variant, which makes it real great value for money.
I was quite impressed with the X variant on and off the road after a couple of hours with it. The MRF tires do a good job, and considering that the BS6 motor delivers power in a more linear way, I did not really feel the need for any of the missing rider assists. The best part about this X variant is the price, which is rupees 2.81 lakh ex showroom, making it almost 58,000 rupees cheaper than the standard variant. This is a great deal for a rider on a budget who is already familiar with the KTM brand and looking to upgrade from something like an older generation 390 Duke.
Okay, so we're on day 2 of our KTM ride experience, and if you recall, yesterday we were riding the X variant. Today what we have with us is the SW variant, which is the top of the line variant now. Compared to this other variants, you get a 19-inch spoke wheel at the front and a 17-inch spoke wheel at the rear, and these are wrapped in Metzeler Tourance rubber. Although these are tube tires, because tubeless spokes would have again been a very expensive affair. The 43mm WP Apex forks at the front are now adjustable, so you get 30 clicks of compression and 30 clicks of rebound at the front. On the other hand, the monoshock has 10-step preload adjustability and 20 clicks of rebound adjustability as well. Now we've been riding this on a road for a short bit, and we're going to go head to Pro Dirt and check out all the off-road trails out there on this beast. So let's have some fun.
To properly experience this adjustable suspension setup, it was suggested that we set up the front forks with 15 clicks of compression and rebound for the road. I was able to dial it in and play around with the settings to get it to my liking. After making it stiffer, it was a hoot to tackle the fast-flowing corners of Tamini Ghat. After reducing the tire pressures to around 22 psi and dialing in the suspension for off-road use, I did get to properly experience the wheels by making big jumps, tackling all the technical trails and rocky water crossing at Pro Dirt Adventure. The bike handled it all really well, and by the end of it, I was feeling much more confident with my off-road riding skills. I usually have not got to play around with a suspension setup, so it was nice to see the difference it can make if tuned in properly. Every different rider will be comfortable with a different setting depending on their weight, so it was advisable to play around and find that sweet spot. The 373cc single-cylinder motor in all the variants is in the same tune, churning out 43.5 horsepower at 9000 rpm and a peak torque of 37 Nm at 7000 rpm. The power delivery is linear with a slight surge coming in at around 6000 rpm. There are a few vibrations felt when the bike is being revved to the red line, but it is not something that affects the overall ride experience. The two ride modes, road and off-road, have slightly different tunes. Off-road gives the bike a little more power in the low range RPMs. This motor is not the most tractable, so a rider will have to keep in the right gear to extract all that the bike has to offer. The quick shifter system works properly only when the shifts are made between 4000 and 5000 rpm. This system is not the best as it sometimes cuts power abruptly, which is why I ended up switching it off and using the clutch instead. With 4 variants on offer, the 390 Adventure is now more accessible to customers on a budget as well as those that wanted a more hardcore off-road tool. Personally, I feel like the electronics are not really necessary, but a lot of new riders seem to appreciate having these rider assists and the TFT screen. Maybe now KTM should slap on a 17-inch alloy wheel at the front with sticky road tires and call it the 390 SMT?